Welcome to On the Mic with Mike RVA. It's the premier social enterprise business show in Richmond, Virginia, here on 92.7 FM, 820 AM. It's WNTW. It's not your father's talk station. So I'm your host, Mike King, and I appreciate you being here with me because you could be anywhere else doing almost anything. Join me as this cutting-edge radio program uplifts the community and showcases RVA business in a different way. We're coming to you live and direct from the glamorous studios of 820 AM 92.7 FM, high above booming Chester, that hotbed of business activity. The show highlights partnerships, innovation, social enterprise, nonprofits with business people and organizations making a difference. So please follow my other brands. It's Mike King Biz. My radio show is On the Mic with Mike. My TV show is RVA Swag Central, as well as a pregame show. It's VUU Panther Football with Mike King Biz, and that's on Saturday preceding the game tomorrow against my Lincoln Lions. And so let me just say the program for Virginia Union and WNTW is historic because it's a conservative radio station promoting an HBCU, which is outstanding, and it starts dialogue, which was, I think, something we all could use. So I hope this isn't so. I'd just like to thank our sponsor, Nicole Reed Real Estate. Buying or selling a home, please go with the pro, Nicole Reed. She'll drop by along the way. So holding down the program today with the board is our man, Mr. Mitchell. He's the executive producer of the show, and he can be reached by calling 804-454-1366. The show is On the Mic with Mike. It's WNTW. The number we can be reached at is 804-454-1366. Today's show is action-packed, informative, engaging, and filled with community game changers. Joining us today is Man About Town, Bill Martin, director of The Valentine, and Richmond's cultural historian. We'll be talking about his programs at The Valentine, and also just trying to figure how culture plays a part in the community. We'll also have Amanda Oliver, who is a literary enthusiast. She's a wordsmith, ladies and gentlemen. So she is, and she's here to help you with your branding and keeping your words. Words have value.
They do.
Words have value. So we'd just like to welcome the folks to the program. Give us a call in along the way. You have to pay some bills. I got grandkids who need stuff. So, we have folks who are paying to be in the program, and I have to pay to be on this microphone. So we just like to thank folks for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, so without further ado, we'll start with Bill.
Oh, no.
So you've been tell the folks about the Valentine.
The Valentine is a unique place because the Valentine is actually the oldest museum in the Richmond region. It was started right after the Civil War by a group of people, by a family named the Valentines, who understood that if we were going to progress as a community, that we needed to understand our history, we need to understand the world. And so they created a museum that really looked at the history of the city, but also connected to the world in really interesting ways. And so from the very beginning, while we've been this sort of traditional museum, we've also had this commitment to doing things just a little bit differently. And so one of the things that I always love to talk about is we're probably the longest school partnership that the Richmond Public Schools have had with any organization. We went free to Richmond Public Schools in 1902. Now, the thing that's different about that is that we were the only museum, if you were a Black kid in Richmond Public Schools, the only museum that you could go to.
Really?
And so those are the kinds of things that are important about when we tell a story. It's who do we invite in, and what stories do we actually tell? And so I've been there now 25 years, and we continue to sort of, this is a complicated story, Richmond.
Yes.
And it used to be that we were comfortable, I think, telling the story in this sort of very simple way, sort of black, white, whatever you'd like to, these sort of simple things, the easy ways, but it's much more complicated. That in fact, it's much more nuanced than just a simple white, black, that there are all these really interesting things that have happened that break those narratives in ways that are important for us to know. And so it's one of the things we love doing. And we've We're in our same location at 1015 East Clay Street. Started in an 1812 house, and then basically now have the entire block. So it's at this point about 1.6 million objects. And what we hope is that when you walk in the door, there's one of those objects that talks to you.
So down at Second Street the other day, I had heard. So when we stopped by your table, they said you want to be known as maybe not Richmond's attic.
No.
But the living room.
The living room. The living room's a lot better than an attic. Although I tell you, we are still Richmond's attic in many ways, because we have all these amazing things. But the fact is when you invite, what we want people to do is be invited in as if it's your living room, and you can sit around. We have a lot of programs that are really not just about presenting history, but having a conversation around that history and what does it mean. And so that's what we do. And it should feel more like your living room, where you're going to have it's just like a family reunion. There are going to be some folks that are just going to be crazy. We've all got
we all have that person.
We all have. When you pull together a family, you're going to surround that table with all kinds of things. And so that's what's exciting about it. If we're the living room for the city, we're a big, wonderful, dysfunctional family like everybody else. And let's get everybody together. Let's get everybody together around that table, around that living room, to talk about the things that can make a difference. There's history, and then there's making a difference for the future.
Because I know that you guys really have diverse programming. I mean, when you see who's coming to the museum, the type of programs. So I guess you have everything from small school children on up to cultural events.
We do everything. So we love our kids, and there'll be, over 20,000 kids in the building this year, which is when you think about the school population of fourth grade, it's a large percentage. You got those guys, but you also have making sure that we respond to issues. And so, for instance, we have a series called Controversy History, which is an amazing series that we've done for a number of years. But what we like to do is approach it as, what can history tell us about an issue today? What can history tell us? And so there's some really amazing examples from the past. Last year, one of the things we looked at was voting, and voting rights in Virginia, and who gets to vote. Well, one of the interesting things that we looked at was the history of women's suffrage. And what you discover is fascinating. So that Lila Mead Valentine, one of our family members, was one of the first women. She founded the Virginia Suffrage League, promoting women's voting in Virginia. Well, the problem is she had two sister-in-laws that were part of the Anti-Women's Voting Association. Now, from our perspective, we would assume that all women in the city would have been, well, this is a great idea. But in fact, a large percentage of Richmond's women were opposed to their own suffrage because women shouldn't be engaged in the dirty business of politics. And so Mrs. Dooley at Maymont, there were a number of prominent women. And so what does that say about today? What when we talk about voting and voting rights, what does it say about today, and who gets to vote, who doesn't get to vote, who wants to vote, who thinks it's appropriate to vote? So you can look at a contemporary issue through the history of this project.
That folks, the voice you're listening to is Bill Martin, the director of the Valentine here. So the time is 2:16. The station is 92.7 FM, 8:20 AM. The program is On the Mic with Mike, and I'm Mike. We have is Amanda Oliver.
Eady.
I'm sorry, Amanda Eady.
Mm-hmm.
So Bill's talking about from the museum. You're a teacher, so we're going to bring your story in. But you visited. Explain a little bit about yourself, real quick, and then we'll go ahead and talk about how your students interact when they go to the Valentine and see what he's talking about from a cultural standpoint and educational standpoint.
Okay. Well, I'm Amanda Eady. I have been an educator for the past 13 years. I'm also a small business owner. I am the owner of the Literary Enthusiast Creative Firm, where words is what I do. I am an editor, proofreader, ghostwriter, and creative assistant for small business owners. So if it needs to be written, I'm your girl.
She's a wordsmith.
Yeah. So words, I'm fascinated with words and just vocabulary and storytelling. I just love all of that. And so when you bring it back to being an educator, I have that same passion in my classroom. And what I love about, I went to the Valentine one time last year with my students, and just being able to see the history of Richmond, and it's a beautiful experience.
Well, and part of it is as a writer, being able to tell a story,
right?
And so it's not just about facts and figures and dates. I think the power, as the power of telling someone's personal story,
most definitely,
is the way you can engage someone.
Always.
And so that story has to be told really well. And so if we count on writers,
right,
to do that,
it's most definitely, and that is why I love what I do, because I believe in storytelling so much. I believe that storytelling gives people the opportunity to be free. And storytelling encourages, it gives people hope. It makes people feel like they're not alone. And that's why I do it. And that's why I help other people, even my students. I tell them every year that my goal is to, when we're thinking about writing, my goal is to help you become the best storyteller on the planet. There are 6 and 7, but I'm telling them that their words have power, and they can put something together that can change the world if they just believe it, even at 6 and 7.
And they need to see stories of people that have been successful,
most definitely,
that experienced success, who've experienced failure, to understand that their story can fit in with the history of this community. That there's a story that we all can tell, and it doesn't matter what part of town you live in. There's this whole notion that the people, and quite frankly, in the past, the only people that were able to control those stories were folks that lived in certain parts of the city, who were on the boards of these museums and cultural institutions, and the whole notion that every neighborhood has a story.
Every neighborhood.
Every child has a story.
Every child.
I always tell people have a story and they want to tell it. Something like this is the platform to tell it. But we do have some time constraints here. And so folks,
don't tell us that.
Don't tell it. Right. The conversation broke out here. So we're going to have to go in and take a couple minutes. We have some folks who are going to call into the program. The program is On the Mic with Mike. We're here with Bill and Amanda, and we'll be back momentarily.
A Premier Bank home equity line of credit can open many doors for you. The door to a brand new kitchen, or the door to a shiny new car or SUV. Maybe the door to a college education for your kids. No matter what doors you want to open, Premier Bank can help with great rates and money to lend to qualified borrowers. Call or visit your nearest Premier Bank office to learn more. Premier Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Subject to credit approval and qualifying credit score.
Premier Bank. Did you know embroidery is an easy, low-cost way to market your business? Let Godmama Wear LLC assist you with your custom logo embroidery needs. Whether you need shirts, hats, or yoga mats, Godmama Wear can embroider various items. Visit us online at www.godmamawear.com. That's www.godmamawear.com. Let's talk soon.
Calling all culture lovers, spoken word artists, comedians, poets, songwriters, singers, and friends. The first Friday of each month, join K. Moss and Associates, DJ Sedan Anu, who is the real true poet, and your host Vitamin for First Friday Freedom Open Mic Night. First Friday Freedom is inspiring new light and fresh insight in Hopewell and the Tri-Cities. First Friday Freedom, epic nights of open mic at Haley's Honey, 235 East Broadway, downtown Hopewell. This is Katina Moss. Follow K Moss and Associates on Facebook and on Instagram at K Moss the Boss. Also on IG, follow First Friday Freedom.
Lush Berries and Treats is Richmond's new best-kept secret, but now the secret is out. Nestled in the city's newest social corner, Scott's Addition, we feature homemade desserts and sweet treats to satisfy any craving. Everything is made from scratch and fresh daily right here in our kitchen, located at 1726C Altamont Avenue. Come by and check us out. We also offer vegan options, custom cakes, and event and corporate catering. Try us out, and remember, life is sweet with Lush Berries and Treats.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jimmy Stump with Stump's Pig and Pint. We're located on the corner of 2nd Street and 119 East Lee. We specialize in slow-cooked meats, handmade sides, and homemade desserts. Stop by. Let us take great care of you. You can find us on Facebook at Stump's Pig and Pint, or you can give us a call, 804-477-3208. We look forward to taking care of you soon.
Welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. Mike King is my name. Here with Amanda Eady. I'm sorry, Amanda Eady, and
Forget the Oliver.
yes, and Bill Martin from the Valentine. On the phone with us, we have a special guest who's a contributor. It's a friend of the program. It's Nicole Reed with the Real Estate Report. Hello.
Hey, Mike. How are you?
Nicole Reed, how are you?
Good.
So I
Hello,
see you out
everyone.
there. I see you out there killing business. So I just want to say congratulations on the success you've had, and also you launched something new. But we'll touch on that once you finish your report.
Awesome. Yes. So, hey, it's your girl Nicole Reed with Nicole Reed Real Estate. I'm here with your market update. So the weather has finally started to break, and we're actually starting to feel fall. Yay! So here, how does that affect the real estate market? Well, as of right now, it hasn't much. Homes are still selling, and people are still buying. Our average price point is still up from last year at 5.75%, and interest rates are still around the low threes. We have average days on the market that have increased from 37 days to 40 days, but houses are still selling at 98% of list price. So overall, I think we're still in pretty good shape. The market still is looking good. So you can definitely sell your home. You can definitely buy a home. If you want to know any more about how you can qualify to buy a home or about the selling process, schedule a call with me with your free consultation, your appointment today at 804-721-7630, or you can visit my website at www.nicolereedrealestate.com. You can also connect with me on my social media sites at Nicole Reed Real Estate on Instagram and at Nicole Reed Real Estate 1 on Facebook. That's all the news I have for you today. Tune in with me next time for your real estate update. I'm your girl, Nicole Reed with Nicole Reed Real Estate, and I'm here taking care of your needs, helping you live out your dreams.
Well, thank you for your information. Hey, Nicole, thanks for everything you do. Thanks for being a friend of the program.
Absolutely.
All righty. Take care now.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
So, folks, that was Nicole Reed from Nicole Reed Real Estate, super duper friend of the program. We're back with Amanda and Bill. So, Bill, you're a nonprofit, and this show is it's a business show. Talk about, so there are 1,000 nonprofits in Richmond. How do you separate yourself from the others? Because really, you're in the business of raising funds. That plays a very big part in it.
It does. And I think part of it is our mission. Our mission in the community is to make sure that kids get an opportunity to experience their city, that the objects that are related to the history, everything from George Washington's cane to Doug Wilder's inaugural suit, are all in the Valentine Museum collection. It's making sure that the objects, and I still believe that objects have power, that, there's the virtual environment where I can just pull up that painting of the Mona Lisa and it'll be just fine. It's not. There's nothing like being in the room with the actual thing.
Okay.
And I think that's part of what we sell. It's being in the room with another person to tell that story. This is a personal thing, that it's not an online thing, and that's coming to the Valentine as a kid or an adult is important, because you're not only just being with an object, you're being with another person to have that more personal interaction. So I think that's part of what we sell. Is that's the distinction between that sets us apart from a lot of other institutions that are much more technology based. We're just community based, and we got to figure out how to do that and how to reach into communities that may not value their stories. And the people that support us value making sure that everyone's story's told.
That's powerful, because when you think about it, certain stories may never be told. because the people have been silenced or whatever. And there's a group of people who feel a moral responsibility to help that story be told. And like you said, kids, when they've seen someone be successful or they think that there's a possibility that you can be, then all of a sudden there's a possibility that that can happen to me.
Mhm.
And that's why when I talk about here from a business standpoint, the social enterprise part of this.
Mhm.
So business can transform society. And no matter what people think, that when you get the business on board, you're able to go to business and they're saying, hey, we want to do this program or we want to do that. And it's the business owner like Amanda, like
Mhm.
anyone else, whether you're a big business or a smaller business, businesses give back to the community.
And they want to feel like it's a partnership. It's not just I'm going to give you money. That working with a business is a partnership, working to document your business. So with us, contribution is certainly a lovely thing, but the fact of the matter is that we see that as an opportunity to also tell the story of that business. That I think it's a two-way street, because we know that Richmond has this rich business history, and quite frankly, a lot of it hasn't been told. When you think about the Avenue over in Northside, which was the center of Black commerce, not just Jackson Ward. We always talk about Jackson Ward and 2th Street, but the Avenue in Highland Park, Barton Heights, was a center of Black enterprise. People don't know that story, and the businesses that were there were incredible businesses that served that community. And so, really, sort of making sure that when we do business, that we're also making sure that we tell again, not just about individuals, but about business history, because we've got this rich community of businesses too.
Folks, so you've been listening to Bill Martin from the Valentine. We're getting short on time here. So what we're going to do is in a little bit, we're going to take a break. We have SRN News is at the bottom of the hour. The time is 2:29. The station is 92.7 FM, 820 AM. When we come back on the other side, Amanda is going to give us some of the nuts and bolts of writing and using the power of words from a business standpoint. How, if you're asking for money, if you're looking for clients, it's how you're positioning your business. She's going to drop some nuggets of knowledge on us and help all of us try and streamline our message so we can put our best foot forward. She's given me some ideas and some things to think on. I've been known as the partnership guru, but you say I bridged the
gap.
I bridged the gap. I'm a cat bridger, I guess. That's okay. That's fine. She's an expert, folks. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a break and we'll be back. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so Bill.
From Anytime Fitness 92.7 FM, 820 AM Newsroom, I'm George Ventura, leading your team coverage. A job fair is being held in Richmond for trade workers and vocational students. Richmond Home Show organization is offering a free job fair as part of a free Trade Workers Day and the Richmond Home Show. All trade workers and vocational students will get free admission with business cards or student ID. Over 250 important vendors will be attending the show. Those who have open position will display or hiring signs at their booths. The event will be held all day Friday, October 11th at the Richmond Waste Bay Complex. Look better, feel better, live healthier, starting at just $21 bi-weekly at Anytime Fitness, located at 12324 Bermuda Crossroad Lane in Chester. Don't forget, join us Saturday as Virginia Union Panthers take on Lincoln at 1 with the 12 o'clock pregame show. From Anytime Fitness 92.7 FM, 820 AM Newsroom, I'm George Ventura, and we'll be back with more right after this.
The 36-year-old threatened a bank cashier and said he had a gun before demanding cash. And I imagine that would have sounded a little something like, "Hey, I got a gun. Give me some cash."
Join us here live Monday through Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. for America's least appreciated radio program, The Drive Home Murphy, where you'll hear the funny, the serious, and the straightforward from Bill Murphy, Henry Freeman, George Ventura, and Mitchell Kruger on 92.7 FM, 820 AM. We'll show you why this is not your father's talk station. I'm George Ventura, and I want to tell you about our good friends over at Anytime Fitness, located at 12324 Bermuda Crossroad Lane in Chester. Head on down and talk to Catherine and the gang and ask them about their 7-day free trial. They are also open 24/7 to all members, and yes, that includes major holidays. Did I forget to mention it's only $21 bi-weekly with access to Anytime Fitness Gym anywhere? So head on down and tell them that you heard of them here on 92.7 FM, 820 AM.
This is WNTW's Chief Orographer William Eastman bringing you the extended 3-day forecast from the Virginia Union University Weather Center. Today, if you ever wondered what a perfect full day looked like, just walk outside. The winds are out of the north. The sky should remain cloudless all day with 0% chance of rain. On Saturday, there's a cold front approaching, which will shift the winds to the south, bringing warmer and more humid air. The area will see temps in the low 80s during the day and low 50s at night with 0% chance of rain. On Sunday, the cold front will pass through early in the morning, with the wind shifting back to the north. There is about a 70% chance of rain. Expect temps in the high 60s and about a half-inch of rain will accumulate. Today in Richmond, the expected high is 74, the low is 50. Petersburg, the expected high is 75, the low is 47. And in New Kent County, the expected high is 73 with a low of 48. Now, from the Hurricane Weather Center, there is nothing to report. You have been listening to Virginia Union University's extended 3-day weather forecast.
Welcome back to On the Mic with Mike, RVA, the premier business program in Richmond, Virginia here. We're here talking about things that are business, not just regular business, but things how business intersects with society. Here with us in the building on 92.7 FM, 820 AM, we have Amanda Eady.
Yeah.
Okay. Literary genius. He's a wordsmith, ladies and gentlemen. And we also have Bill Martin, who is from the Valentine. But first, we have to welcome in a friend of the program who gives us our social media nugget of knowledge for the day. Hello.
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Pretty good. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Jacob from Nudge Advertising. These guys are good. And so he's going to drop some wisdom on us of how to make our social media work better. Jacob, the floor is all yours, sir.
All right, Mike. Well, with the coming of like the holiday season and trying to kind of send out marketing for stuff for that, a lot of things that I see on social media is people just putting up posts with just piles and piles and piles of information. And my advice for this week is less is more. Just put on the few key important details, put a web address, put a link to something, and then put a graphic on it and send it on its way. And if people are invested in it, they'll go investigate more. But if you put a post up that just has a wall of information, people are instantly just not going to pay attention to it. And then your efforts are null and void at that point. So all in all, less is more.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard that from Jacob. Less is more. We will remember that. So Jacob, how can folks find Nudge Advertising?
Sure. You can check us out on the web, nudgeadvertising.co. Social media is Facebook and Instagram, Nudge Advertising, and then email us at nudgeadvertising@gmail.com or send us a message or give us a call at 202-670-6295.
So, folks, Nudge Advertising, you guys specialize with small businesses. They're creative geniuses. They really help you hone your message, which is very important. So, Jacob, just like to thank all that you do. And, folks, reach out to Jacob and his team. They'll help you out.
All right, Mike. Have a good weekend.
All right,
Happy
appreciate
Friday.
it. Thanks. Now, take care. So, folks, we're back here with Amanda. So, Amanda, please impart the wisdom on us. How do we make our words matter? How do we help our brand be clear-cut and focused? What are some of the tips, whether it's email writing, whether it's social media? Words matter. Please, madam, the floor is yours.
Yes, words are so important, you guys. I always tell my clients that before you get started, if you're a small business owner, nonprofit, whatever, an author, you need to know your target audience from the very beginning.
You've had that conversation with me.
Yes, I have. Everybody is not for you. You are not for everybody. You need to be very specific about who you've been called to serve and really target that market and develop that niche. So when I'm working with my clients, I'm thinking about, okay, so once you've identified your target audience, what is your core message? There's steps to these things. Like for me, words is what I do. So I had to establish that from the very beginning. So people know that I teach people how to creatively change the world through wordsmithing and storytelling. And when I do that, I increase their brand awareness as well as their revenue. That's my core message. And so I'm not going to talk about anything else or do anything else that has nothing to do with that. You have to be very specific. And so every single thing that I post on my page correlates with that core message.
And that page is?
My page on Instagram, I'm just Amanda Eady on Instagram. On Facebook, I am Amanda Eady. Very basic. You also can have a website, very simple, www.amandaeddy.com. And so when you are posting things, please make sure that I'm a big storyteller. And so my words are purposeful. Even if I'm going to talk about my relationship with my children, I'm going to find a way to bring it back to my core message. You know, all this week I've been sharing different pictures. I had a photo shoot. I was very specific about that photo shoot, why I did it. I'm rebranding. But every single time I posted a picture, I'm glad that what was the guy's name? Jacob?
Yes.
I'm glad that he came on before me, because when he was talking about less is more, there is a time where you shouldn't have a whole bunch of nonsense words. You should make sure that your words matter, that they have they mean something. So when I'm storytelling, I'm sharing my story because that's what sells. Your story sells. You know, people, the know, like, trust factor is so important. And people, you will get money from people when they know you, they like you, they trust you. And when you have developed that relationship, people will sow into your life. When you develop that relationship, definitely you shouldn't just be focused on, okay, I'm going to develop this relationship with this person so they can give me money. No, just be very sincere. I always tell people, you serve people well, the money will come. So when I am putting words out there, I'm thinking about, how is this going to change this person's life? How is me sharing my story, my message going to change someone's life? Yesterday was World Mental Health Day. So I use that as an opportunity. They talked about World Mental Health all day. I talked about my struggles with mental health. I put a picture up there. I put that I struggle with depression, anxiety. I've talked about the times when I wanted to commit suicide. I put all my truth out there. And of course, people responded to it because, for one, I was real. For two, it sticks with my core message. So I talked about the stuff that I struggle with, but I also talked about how I have overcome, how I've been victorious. And so me storytelling online shows other people. It goes back to my business. I am a storyteller for real.
Okay. So this is a business show.
Mm-hmm.
And so you also are a school teacher, correct?
I am.
So you're a creative person.
Yes.
When you put the personal things out there
Mm-hmm.
that were the struggles,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm a regular type business,
Mm-hmm.
what part do my struggles have to do with my plumbing, auto repair, or whatever type? Maybe I'm not a creative person,
Mm-hmm.
and my business is the business of producing or providing a service. Do you recommend the person putting themselves into that or keeping that separate from your personal struggles and beliefs and all those things?
It all depends on your market. It really does depend on your market. Do I feel like every single business owner should be showing their truth in some type of way? Yes, I do. Because it goes back to the whole relationship building and bringing people in, making those connections. Let's say one of my clients is does pest control. And so my advice to them would be to share a time where they may have struggled with having pests in their home.
Okay.
Making that connection, because that is what's going to, if someone is struggling with, let's say they have bed bugs or they have mice, and they may feel, some type of way about that and don't want to share it, or may feel like they're alone. If someone who's doing pest control can be honest and open about some of their own struggles in that area, it kind of releases someone, if that makes any sense.
That is true. So, ladies and gentlemen, the voice you're hearing is Amanda Eady.
Yeah.
We go back a ways.
We do.
We go back a ways to CW days.
Right.
When I met you, you were doing the Books Before Boys.
I still have my nonprofit organization. I sure do. Brand new.
Brand new.
Yes, I am rebranding in January. I'm home of the Books Before Boys Pajama Jam.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Remember we did the commercial.
We did. I still have
We
those
did the
commercials. We did. It was oh my goodness, I've done so much, Mike.
Yes. And so folks, you do have a legacy there.
Yeah.
So folks, the voice you heard is Amanda Eady. We also have Bill Martin from the Valentine. So from a business standpoint, when we look at how business impacts society and all of those things. So Bill, I guess one of the things that Amanda was talking about is cause marketing. And I tell nonprofits, if you're not finding, say, a Mark Smith or a person who's a stakeholder in your dream, you're wrong.
Yeah, I think there's so much information. We're in an age where there's so much information out there. There's so much, and how do you stand out?
Yes.
How do you make that story it's lots of businesses. How do you make your business stand out? And for us, it's actually knowing who we are and being very clear about it. In fact, Our tagline is simply Richmond Stories. It's the Valentine Richmond Stories, because you really don't have time. And it's interesting, goes back to the earlier, you got to keep it simple. And you have to understand, I think, the power of words, that when you think about words that have meant things in Richmond history, what does that mean? What does liberty mean? What does freedom mean? These are evolving. These founders say we believe in liberty.
What is liberty?
What is liberty? And, we have seen that over time as a society, the notion of liberty and freedom of religion, all these big things have evolved over time. And so that those of us that are working in the cultural sector particularly are helping make sure that we make those words mean something today.
So folks, that's Bill Martin. We're getting ready to go take a break. We have to go away a little bit and take care of some bills here. We'll be back in just a moment.
Did you know embroidery is an easy, low-cost way to market your business? Let Godmama Wear LLC assist you with your custom logo embroidery needs. Whether you need shirts, hats, or yoga mats, Godmama Wear can embroider various items. Visit us online at www.godmamawear.com. That's www.godmamawear.com. Let's talk soon.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jimmy Stump with Stump's Pig and Pint. We're located on the corner of 2nd Street and 119 East Lee. We specialize in slow-cooked meats, handmade sides, and homemade desserts. Stop by. Let us take great care of you. You can find us on Facebook at Stump's Pig and Pint, or you can give us a call, 804-477-3208. We look forward to taking care of you soon.
I can't begin to tell you how Premier Bank helps simplify my busy life. Premier's mobile banking app gives me 24/7 access to my accounts and check deposit with my phone. With Secure Lock equipped, I have a tool that gives me complete control over my debit card. I can receive instant alerts, set spending limits, turn card on and off, and even control where it can be used. And Premier's People Pay lets me send someone money without writing a check. Premier products and Premier service from Premier Bank. Member FDIC.
Yeah, this is Big Herm from Big Herm's Kitchen and Catering. We're located on the heart of Jackson Ward on 315 North 2nd Street, Richmond, Virginia. We're open Monday through Friday, 11 to 6, takeout and delivery, but we also cater anytime. We deliver all types and cater all types of events from graduations to weddings. Please check us out at bighermscatering.com or call us directly, 804-922-3693 for any of your catering needs.
Calling all culture lovers, spoken word artists, comedians, poets, songwriters, singers, and friends. The first Friday of each month, join K. Moss and Associates, DJ Sedan Anu, who is the real true poet, and your host Vitamin for First Friday Freedom Open Mic Night. First Friday Freedom is inspiring new light and fresh insight in Hopewell and the Tri-Cities. First Friday Freedom, epic nights of open mic at Haley's Honey, 235 East Broadway, downtown Hopewell. This is Katina Moss. Follow K Moss and Associates on Facebook and on Instagram at K Moss the Boss. Also on IG, follow First Friday Freedom.
This is Sean Nicholson with SMN Square Incorporated, providing the building blocks for success and sustainability in your business. We currently own and operate a co-working executive office and training facility called The Hub, helping you in business, located in Midlothian, Virginia, inside the Victorian Square Shopping Center. For more about us and what we do, please log on to www.smnsquare.com. That's smnsquare.com. Or you can find us on all social media platforms, SMN Square.
Mr. Mitchell, thank you very much for the smooth sounds. That, ladies and gentlemen, that is our DJ there, the resident DJ, Mr. Mitchell. So we have a friend of the program on the line. Who's on the mic with Mike?
Hey, it's Aaron Fry from Culture Works on the mic with Mike.
Aaron, you were just here last week.
I know. Well, I just needed to check in.
Well, that's good. So we have Bill Martin here, and we have Amanda.
Awesome.
So tell us what's happening with Arttober. What's all new and exciting that's out happening in the streets of Richmond?
Oh my gosh, what a week it's been. So this weekend we have the Folk Fest, which is tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Last night I was actually at the African Burial Ground, and there was a special dance happening there through Untold RVA and also through U of R. And we've had a bunch of other events. Hopewell had an arts fest last night. It's been awesome. Yeah, I could keep going and going.
Okay, well, so what's upcoming within? So the month is moving along here. The excitement is steady. Tell us some of the other things that you have going. So you're down in, I say, the Tri-Cities. You're up in Richmond. Tell folks some of the other new and exciting. The mic is yours, so you better go for it, which you're good at.
Yeah. So tomorrow, from 1 to 3 at the High Point, there's an artist talk with Kimberly Witham. Next week, there are a bunch of things happening. We'll have some events with Capital One happening. We'll have at the cafes. So there'll be in Carytown, there'll be a thriller dance workshop in Carytown on Saturday. And actually, that's 2 weeks from now. That's Saturday the 26th. And on Sunday, Noah Scalin will be doing a demo and Q&A session at the Short Pump Capital One Cafe. And we have some other events with the Better Housing Coalition. But things are happening all over the city. Waxing poetry at the Poe Museum on Saturday night. Yeah.
And there's all the regular stuff too. Now, don't forget all the regular stuff. I mean, there's like the Virginia Museum of History and Culture and the VMFA and Maymont and the Science Museum and Children's Museum and Lewis Gunter Botanical Gardens and the American Civil War Museum and, you know, the Black History Museum and Cultural Center. You know, there's just stuff. If you want culture, you got it.
See, folks, you came to a business show and culture broke out.
Yeah.
The culture is everywhere. So, Aaron, real quick, tell folks how they can find you guys over at Culture Works in October.
Yeah, they can just check out artoberva.com, and that has our calendar. And Bill is exactly right. Next Friday night, October 18th, there's a big exhibit at the Science Museum called Glow. And then there's Goblins and Gourds on Sunday the 20th at Lewis Ginter. But there's also just those museums and spaces are open every day. So just check it out.
Alrighty, folks, you've been listening to Aaron Fry of Culture Works. Aaron, thanks. Make sure you come back next week, and that way we're going to keep this going. It's just a party here when you show up. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care now. So, folks, thanks to Aaron from Culture Works. There are a lot of cultural activities going on in town. So, Amanda, what school do you teach at?
I teach at St. Andrew School.
And what grade do you teach?
I teach first grade.
It's different. So shout out to my wife. So we and the caregivers. So my wife takes care of our 3 grandkids now. So they're 3, 6, and 8. It's different now than it was. You have to reason with 5 and 6 and 3-year-olds now. So talk about what's the magic touch.
Okay, so the magic touch is to realize, for one, that these children are not like they were from back in the day. That's coming to that realization. And then 2, really understanding that every age has a developmental period. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's things that children who are 5 do developmentally, like cognitively, emotionally, physically. And that's different from someone who's 7 and someone who's 9. And so what I love about St. Andrew's School is that we focus on the whole child. And so as an educator at that school, we were really studying the children at their age. So as a 6-year-old, I know that my children are very competitive. They need a lot of feedback from adults. They love a lot of noise. They are excessive talkers. I've had to learn that developmentally 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds, this is how they are. And then they start off a certain way, and then eventually a 6-year-old may want to be around their peers. But eventually, once they become 7, they're more into themselves, and I had to learn that. Even just with parenting, that, excuse me, that every child, there are certain ages that everybody is the same.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to really study these children and not just say, well, I'm the adult and you're just going to do exactly what I say. There are certain things that are typical for a certain age. And there's certain things that children need. And I think as adults, it is very helpful when we study them and realize what they need and give them what they need. Not what they want, give them what they need. And that's what I love about my school.
So, folks, you've been listening to Amanda Eady. So, Amanda, let folks know how they can find you once again.
Once again, I am Amanda Eady. I am on Instagram at just Amanda Eady, on Facebook, Amanda Eady, and my website, www.amandaeady.com.
Bill, how can folks reach?
It's easy. It's thevalentine.org. And we have a great website that will give you access to all of our tours. We do 400 tours a year, and school programs and exhibitions, all kinds of things. And we'd love to have you come visit. And I'm going to tell you, it's a little difficult right now because we've got a lot of construction going on in our neighborhood. but don't listen to anybody. In fact, ignore whatever Google Maps tells you. You can get there, and we hope that you'll make a little extra effort to come downtown, because there's some special places in Richmond. And I'll just say that St. Andrew's School is one of those special places because a philanthropist named Grace Ahrens provided the funding for this school as one of our major philanthropists. If you think about Lewis Gunter Botanical Gardens, that was Grace Ahrens' legacy. So if you think about all these things that when you give back to a community, you can make change. And you provide these environments for kids to have special places. And so the Valentine's Act is the kind of same thing. They came out of that same impulse of making sure that there were special places for people and children and a community to learn more about themselves. And so it's I think we share in many ways a similar history.
Yes. And I love just thinking about just legacy. Just think about everything that I do, whether it's my nonprofit, whether it's me educating, or whether it's me as a business owner. At the forefront of my mind, I am thinking about legacy and how Amanda Eady is going to leave a legacy for my great, great, great grandchildren.
And so whether it's in our children or the institutions and the homes, all of us are looking at what makes a legacy.
All righty, folks, thanks for tuning in. 1 second here, and we'll be back in just a moment.
This is Vinny Jones from Enzo Cigar Lounge, the new premier cigar experience in the Richmond area. We're conveniently located at 9101 Midlothian Turnpike, Suite 800A, inside the shops of the Arboretum. Come by for something different. We have a great selection with a knowledgeable staff to help you out. You can reach us on Instagram at Enzo Cigars, on Facebook, Enzo Cigar Lounge, Twitter at Enzo Cigars, and also our website, EnzoCigarLounge.com, to find out about special promotions and events. If you come in and mention On the Mic with Mike, I'll give you a 20% discount. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been On the Mic with Mike. I'm Mike King. Thanks, Amanda Eady. Thanks, Bill Martin. And we are out. Thank you.
WNTW 820